Do you think the Arab League means action this time?
I mean, the thing we heard earlier, the Palestinian Authority Foreign Minister Riyad Maliki talk about having seen these scenes playing out before at the Arab League with its condemnation of Israeli aggression. And in fact, the whole situation must feel like a kind of gruesome Groundhog Day for Palestinians now stuck with increasing Israeli assault on the Gaza Strip. And Palestinians, I mean, you know, the Arab League gave lots of supportive words and solidarity, but Palestinians must be wondering what they're going to provide beyond that. They might also be noting the irony of the Arab League Secretary General talking about having to stop having empty meetings to talk about the situation. And they might also have noted that it took 3 days for the Arab League to convene this emergency meeting. But of course, the trouble with all of this is that the international community is placing really unfair pressure on Egypt at the moment. It is asking Egypt to try and de-escalate the situation by placing pressure on Hamas, but there is no equivalent pressure being placed on Israel to do the same by the international community. If anything, it has a green light to continue with its actions.
The Arab League Secretary General calling on the UN Security Council to step up and take responsibility. Do you see that happening anytime soon?
Again, it's hard to see. I mean, the Arab League seems to be stuck in a narrative that belongs to a different time, albeit that the situation in the Middle East has now changed. And of course, they are sending various representatives of Arab League nations into Gaza to meet with the Hamas leadership there to show that the dynamics of diplomacy have changed. But then again, we hear them talking about, you know, the peace process and reviving that and 67 borders and so on. And it does seem a bit far removed from the situation on the ground where, you know, the peace process is really dead and buried, and the conversation needs to shift from there in order to end Palestinian suffering and occupation.
How far do you think Israel will take the conflict this time? We've seen them starting to move tanks and other military hardware nearer the border with Gaza, 75,000 reservists on standby. Do you think a land invasion is inevitable from where you're sitting?
It's really difficult to tell. I mean, Bibi Netanyahu is a man of bluster. We can see how much he escalated the rhetoric when it came to talking about attacking Iran. It's very difficult to know whether this sort of the amassing of reservists, having 75,000 reservists available, which is a huge number, whether that is just bluster, whether it's just saying to Hamas, you know, don't even think about it, you need to de-escalate now, or whether, having got that in action, he's now in a position where he's going to find it very difficult to step down from that. And of course, that is the problem with this situation now, is that escalation brings its own momentum and makes it very difficult for people to step down from that.